Gonna be the start of a new video, I suppose. I got a test light here. Now, these two connections here, this has power. It sets the light off. Yeah, there it went. But, alright. My starter solenoid has power. If I can get my camera work down. I'm trying to do too much stuff here. So, the starter solenoid, battery, So then up here at the at my actual switch, it doesn't go live until I turn the key. It's really hard to see that thing back up in there, isn't it? But yeah, so it only gets power when I turn the key, but then I don't get anything from here. I did stick my multimeter on them, and there's like 2.2 ohm or something like that. I thought that's what I was supposed to have, but I could very possibly be wrong. But yeah, I don't have, there's nothing, I get no power from any of the wires, and then no spark from the plugs. So I'm thinking that it might be something in these somewhere. I'm gonna do some more prodding and reading. Just got a notification from Bezos that my package is out for delivery. That's cool. So decided to make my life a little easier and take the tank off. I feel good about that one. I'm currently testing coils, and I don't know. I'm not getting anything. From what I've been reading on and looking at so far, it's not looking good for the coils. It might just be one of my sketchy connections. Although, so yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Just trying to tinker with that. Howdy. It's another glorious morning in the shop. So I was thinking last night, I was kind of talking back and forth with Cody, and he had mentioned something about like showing, like actually kind of walking through how I approached figuring out what is going on here. And I will say, like, I don't rely on me for your mechanic advice or anything. I have no clue what I'm doing. But it was kind of a simple enough process. Like there was definitely some Google searching going on, and a lot of head scratching on my part. But I think I did kind of figure something out. So I have a cheap test light from Walmart. I don't know. You don't necessarily. They're good to have, but I can kind of show you what I did just with a multimeter, a cheap multimeter from Walmart. So just going based off of the fact that I knew I had good power, you know, the system's power's good, ground's good, so that's where we're starting from. I wanted to check my coils, so multimeter set at 200 ohm, right? You're gonna take your leads and you'll get I think I have it. There we go. Hopefully that's good enough for demonstration purposes. Oh, come on. I just need you to sit in there. There we go. Okay. So you take that lead, and then the other lead will go to the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so now these coils are 2.2 ohm. If you look there, it's 2.2, 2.1. It might jump up to 2.3. So that's good. You test the other one exactly the same as that. They both test out at 2.2, 2.3-ish, which is fine. So the next test would be the plug wires, right? And with the plug wires, you want to take your multimeter and set it to that. That's just like through continuity. If you take your leads can get this one to cooperate. Thank you. Okay, so you're going to take your leads and, right? So what you'll do, and I've already yanked it off there, is you're going to take your lead in one end, and then the other lead's going to go in the other end, and it's supposed to beep at me. Yeah, as you can see, it doth not beep, and it's not open. It's giving me, I don't know, 18,000 gigawatts or whatever that means. So I'm guessing at this point that for whatever reason that these plug wires, at least this one, is not giving me any spark. Upon further review, right, you remember earlier in the video when I had made the comment that you should probably not rely on me for your mechanic advice, like on what to do and what not to do. Well, you could probably look at me for like what not to do. I'll give you that one. But I'm definitely not doing stuff because I know what I'm doing. I'm learning how to do it as I go. So now that I have dove through this thing again, more times than I care to do so, I figured out that there are two wires coming off of my key that are, I assumed them to be auxiliary wires. Like they would get power in the accessory stage of the key and be fine. Everything would work like a dream. I was wrong about this, apparently. These, well, let me get my fingies out the way. So you see that blue and black wire there? That was one of the auxiliary wires. There's a blue and yellow. That one right there, right? Like I said, I thought they were coming in, like I thought it was auxiliary, like you're in your accessory stage or whatever. Nothing, they don't test out. There's no voltage going to them, and then there's no voltage going to them with full on. And so I was looking at my diagram or whatever, and I was talking to my buddy, and he was like, well, so he was trying to figure out exactly where the power was going to and from this, because I didn't have anything up here. I mean, the coils were ohming out, but there wasn't any power. Whenever I tried to test them with the light, there was no power going to them coils. So he was wanting to figure out what was going on in the box. And what we did was I finally, after a ton of thought and Googling and scratching both of our heads, I was like, you know what, I honestly, I think I'm just going to try and tie the coil and the rectifier into the 12 volt, the same line that the key is tied into, right? The power coming directly from the battery to the key. I'm going to tie those directly into that, and we're just going to see. So what I did was I just took, this is the power to the coil that was hooked into this here, and he had me do this little trick. I got the wire, but I got a strip of spare wire here, and I wrapped it, before I disconnected this, I wrapped it around that lead there, and then just touched it to that, turned my key completely through the system. It didn't have anything until I hit the switch there, and I got spark at my plugs. So it looks like I got good plug wires and not bad plug wires. It looks like my coils are fine and not bad coils like I initially thought. It was just this accessory wires coming out of the key, the aftermarket key that I bought, because this is for, I think this was for like some kind of four-wheeler or something. I don't know. We're thinking, the thought is maybe that those accessory wires aren't hooked into the right spot, or maybe I'm not utilizing them in the correct way. You know, like maybe both of them need to be tied into something in order to do whatever it needs to do. Whatever. We have the problem figured out. It is now time to put it all back together the correct way and see if I can't get it to fire. I'm getting ready to leave for the weekend. Took some time off for the 9 to 5. But so before I leave, I was out here just kind of tinkering around. I needed to get the tank off, and I wanted to disconnect the battery because it had actually drained down, so that's a new thing. But I think I might have figured it out, like where the interruption is that was causing me to lose my spark after I had rewired an actual power wire to the coils themselves. That was, you know, that was a facepalm moment for sure. So what I think is going on here, like, because this black wire, let me get you in there. All right, so that black wire there, that goes to the rectifier. So this is power into the rectifier through this black wire. Well, I don't need that because the rectifier already has power down there. It ties into the yellow line there. So then I looked at my diagram again, my rectifier diagram, and it's saying that there should be a wire from the rectifier, black wire, to the opposing side of the key, which that's what that brown wire that I had mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. If not, so this brown wire is the opposing terminal for my key. There's a ground, or there's a power, and then there's an opposing terminal, which is a ground or a line out or whatever you're calling it. So maybe, you know, I mean, I don't really know how long I'm going to be tinkering. Like I said, I'm getting ready to leave right now, to be honest with you. But I think I still might have time to tie this in real quick to the right line. So that way it'll kind of give me something to look forward to when I get home. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Just got back from Arkansas and figured I'd come out here and do some work on this. I got one more wire to connect back up. I got that, I think it was I'm pretty sure it's the rectifier to the key. I need to hook that up to the correct wire now. And then I figured while I'm at it, there's the power to the headlight and speedometer cable combo wombo there. I just figured I'd go ahead and redo all the way up until the new stuff, because there is stuff that I put in already that's good, but then there's a section of wire about yay long that's old wire that I just haven't touched yet. I haven't gone through and done anything with yet. It's all connected good and it's all taped up. It just, compared to the rest of the stuff that I've done, it now kind of looks goofy. So as I was saying, this is that the light power. I think this one goes, pretty sure I think this one goes to the solenoid, right? And that feeds my light and my speedometer the power it needs. And this is, like you can tell, so electrical tape, this connection here, electrical tape, which feeds into my connection, metal fastener with heat shrink wrap and all that stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna redo this real quick since I now have to tie that black line from the rectifier in, and yeah, so let's knock that out. Glad you made it back. Need to do a little bit of straightening up. I'm putting that back. Watch, I'll probably need it again. I got it started, right? It's super cool. Yeah, me. The rectifier, it's not charging while it's running. And reading into some stuff, looking through, doing some Google foo. So there's a couple different kinds of rectifiers, and I believe the one that I have is a 5-wire, for whatever that means, and then there's a 4-wire. I think the difference in the deal is that black wire, I'm at this point kind of positive that it is, it's meant to go to your key, and it controls when the bike charges. Like there's some kind of circuit or something in the rectifier that reads when the battery needs to be charged. And that wire running to the key sort of sends the signal, like senses that and sends the signal, and allows the battery to charge. To my understanding. Could be very wrong. So that means I need to take the tank off again. And pull them wires apart. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I guess I'm going to just... I think what I'm going to do, at least initially, is the brown wire that I wired the coils into. I already had it hooked to that, and it was draining the battery. But maybe, I don't know, maybe having the coil wire plugged into that will make a difference somehow. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to try at some point. I would like to work on this, and I'm not doing anything special with it or anything like that, especially because I'm going to replace this, like I said. So this is just so I can, this is just so I can ride it, because I want to ride my bike. Thank you. But it's just, this is not fitting in there the way it should be. So what I've been doing is, what seems to be giving me some progress is I am sort of taking a Dremel with a little cutting wheel on it, and I'm sort of going down in between these teeth on this. And I didn't have any rhyme or reason to it at first, but then when I tried to fit it back onto the bike, it wanted to be, so the position of this compared to the rest of the pedal, right, needs to be something, about like that, probably, right? That way when you push down on the pedal, it pulls that up. So it needs to be somewhere around in there. Well, it wants to go in the way it should, somewhere right about around there. And the difference between that and that, like, that's enough for that that solid brake line, or brake lever, the lever arm, we'll say, right? For that thing, for that to work, it's just not that long. Like, it can't reach, if the thing is sitting like that, it can't reach it. It's not long enough. So I would like to get that in. So, once I do get able to test on it a little bit, I can, have the ability to stop. That'd be super cool. And then this is that little part for the speedometer cable. I got me a die. Had to buy that one special because the 3 kits that I have don't have one. I got one now. Anyway, so yeah, I've been trying to go back over these and get this down, because this is still too big. It won't thread in there. So I just need to thread this down, see if it'll fit. And then I have the next size down from there. You know, like this is a 5/8, and then I have so the next size down is a 9/16. I have one, and then, you know, down from there, whatever the rest of them are. But this was just the one that I needed to get started. I do kind of want to work on this. This is what I want to work on. That's probably what I should work on, and that's really what I need to be figuring out. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hey, just in time. Alright, so I got that rewired, and now I got my testers. I'm just gonna go through and see if I think what is correct is correct. I actually could just do that with a test light, can I not? So I'm testing power. Correct. Okay. So key on, I have power to the solenoid. Key on auxiliary, no power to the solenoid. Key off, no power. Okay, so now when I start the bike and I turn the key off, the bike should turn off. That's the thought. Okay. With any luck, you know, fingers crossed and all that, I still yet, I need to zip tie all the wires into the proper spot so they're nice and neat, but it's super easy to get the tank out of the way. I mean, I guess in hindsight, well, no, because the lines aren't quite long enough to do that. I was going to say I could have just taken the bolts out, turn the tank around, but yeah, my fuel line isn't long enough to do that, so just snug these down a little bit. Okay, where's my tool for that? What did I do? There it is. Alright. Now I like this little tool, but I've used it only a handful of times and it already broke on me. Should be plenty tight enough. Number 2. Make sure I get that all the way down on there. I don't want any more fuel leaks than what I already got. I just got the one. I think this carb needs to be, I might have said something before, but I'm pretty sure this other carb over here needs to be cleaned again, and that the needle and seed or the float bowl, one of them, maybe both of them, needs to be inspected at least. Alright. So, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but there's power. Got all my power. The battery might not be charged enough to do it, but we're gonna try. So, fingers crossed. Ooh. A little bit of choke. Alright. Got the battery charger hooked on it. We're gonna see. There ain't a whole lot of fuel left in there, but I didn't put much in there to begin with, so. A little bit of choke. Maybe all of the choke. Come on, Doc. What you doing, bud? Well, other than thinking that Doc might be a little camera shy, just first out of the gate I noticed that this is way looser than it needs to be. It's doing a lot of this just when the bike's sitting there, let alone going down the road, so we'll have to try and reinforce that. And I think that carb might need to be dug into. But it does run. And the key now shuts it off. So, next step is figuring out whether or not the rectifier stator is charging the battery. I need to at least get the brake pedal on there so I can stop, because I kind of do need to take it out and run it a little bit. I think I need to adjust the throttle a little bit. It was kind of like really sluggish. If I hit it, it almost choked the bike out. I had to roll into it like super easy. So, but I don't know that. I don't know. We'll have to play with that. So yeah, light, throttle, brake. Then I can test whether or not. Well, the light's not important, I guess, for right now. But at least the brake, and then play with the throttle a little bit so I can test whether or not the battery's getting charged. Well, it is now probably a solid week and a half or so after this video should have gone up. I had some computer issues and wound up losing some video footage, as you will be aware of, and new things have happened since then. I did get Dohc running though, I remember, and then immediately had carb problems. The jets were clogged, is what it wound up being. You will see that in the next video on Dohc. I don't know if the next video that comes out is going to be me working on this, or if it might be me working on something else. So with that, thanks guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and yeah, see you later.